So today's video is part one of us collecting honey and then bottling it, extracting and then bottling it. It was pretty windy. We did it on Saturday. It was just really windy, so the audio is not going to be all that great. So I'm going to try to narrate a little bit what's going on. But it was just basically to show you how we get the honey from our hives. So the very first part of this honey collection is us just getting in the hives, checking them, seeing what frames are ready to be harvested. Now, we don't harvest every single frame. We kind of check them. If they're not fully capped, we won't take them because the bees still need to eat. I mean, they're making honey so that they can survive. So we actually leave quite a bit of honey behind for them to eat on. Hopefully they keep enough to survive through the winter. And then there's some downtimes with the pollen and nectar counts in the area. And then they'll eat on the honey during those times. So we like to leave a little bit because it's better for them to eat their own honey than for us to supplement with sugar water, any other type of pollen or nectar food supplements. So it is better for them to have their own. We do leave quite a bit. We do get to harvest some honey through the course of the year. It's enough for us and a little bit to share with other friends and family. So this is kind of that first step because it does, when we first got into beekeeping, we had no idea how much work it is. There's a lot of work involved. So just so everybody gets a little bit of understanding of what we go through, we're just showing you in this video one hive. And typically we have between 8 and 12. Right now we're down to 5, I believe. It's just the course of beekeeping. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this. It's like I said, I'm sorry about the wind. This is just a little bit of the painstaking part of getting the honey. So in part of this video, my lighting was a little off. It was a little bright, so you really couldn't see the honeycomb when I brought it up to the camera. When I was explaining the nectar versus capped honey. So I just wanted to explain that part a little bit. When the bees are making the honeycomb, they're filling them with nectar. And then throughout the course of the process of them filling it, they're also drying it out. So when it becomes below 17% water content, it has now become honey. They could continue to dry it out until they think the honey is ready enough for them. And then what they'll do is they'll put a wax cap on top. And that's what I'm talking about when everything's capped. When we are looking in the hives, we don't want to take more than 10%. So if 10% of this frame is uncapped and still has nectar in it, we won't take it because the water content could actually raise the water content of the honey that we're harvesting, which if that water content increases the honey content, water content, it puts our honey above 17%. With that, it could rot or mold or go bad on us or start fermenting. So we just don't do that. We don't even chance it. So if there's 10%, we don't harvest. We won't pull the frame. That's why we're looking at these frames really close so that we can make sure that the honey that we do have is perfect. We don't have any of those chances. We've been fortunate enough with our practices that most of the honey that we've been harvesting, and we test it, is about 14.75% water. So we're way below the water content. So our bees are doing really good at keeping it out. We don't do specific honeys like sage or I can't remember the other ones, avocado, orange. We just don't do that. All of our honey is wildflower. We leave our bees out in our orchard year round. We don't move them into other places. And we've got all kinds of trees, peaches, cherries, avocados, apricots. So these bees are hitting everything. We got passion fruit. They're making their honey out of all those plants. So we are just a wildflower honey. It does change throughout the season of the year, between summer, winter, fall. With it changing like that, because it's the type of flowers that are blooming during that time of year, it changes the honey. So the honey has a different flavor because it may be different plants at that time of the year. So it does, for us, we're here on the central coast of California, our honey does change in color and richness through the course of the year. We like that darker honey. It's really flavorful, I guess. So anyway, we hope you enjoy this. You can kind of see what we're going through just to get the honey out of the hives. And then the next video will be us extracting the honey and then bottling it. So what we're doing is we're doing a honey check on the hives. You can see that this one's all capped on this side, but on this side, nothing. There's no wax, no nothing. So we'll just leave this for the bees. That way they can eat on during the winter. So what I'm doing here is breaking the frames apart. The bees actually created comb connecting the two frames together, so I'm having to break it free so I can get the frame out. You'll see when I go up to the camera that in this very center of the frame, you can see where it came apart. So you can see this one, the honey is all capped, and on both sides, that means it's ready to harvest. So we'll harvest this one. So now you can see it. It's beautiful. So on this frame also, the bees had bridged the gap across the top with wax and honey. They also did the very bottom, which we'll show you here in a minute. As soon as I get the frame out, my wife will come over and we'll show you the bottom. So when I pull up the frame on this one, you'll see the honey and the honeycomb on the bottom there. Let me just say that probably weighs 5 pounds. So that was the frame that I showed you in the very beginning of the video that actually weighed 5.8 pounds. So this is the one I really wanted to show you. Once I dump the bees off, you can see right in the center all the capped honey. Everything around it is uncapped nectar. So we're not going to harvest that one. So you can see this side is completely capped. It's ready to be harvested. But this side is not. You can see there's still nectar in there. So that means the water content is too high to become honey. So they haven't finished. I'm gonna leave this to either for them to cap and finish it off, or they'll eat it during the winter if they don't cap it. But here, our practices, we try to leave as much honey for them because it's a natural source for them, instead of trying to feed them supplements during the winter. So we don't get a big honey harvest every year because we do leave them for the bees, but we do get a little bit. You can tell they're not too agitated. These bees are used to us, and our queens are nice. But yeah, these guys aren't agitated. They're not pinging off us. They're not on us. So everything is happy right now. And they don't care about us. So now I'm putting the box back together. I'm putting the frames in, and for every one that I harvested out, I'm gonna replace it with either a wax coated one or one with foundation like this. So now you see me, I'm straightening everything out to make sure there's no gaps and all the frames are together. They are spaced in a certain way just for the bees. So I'm just kind of pushing everything together there. These are our feeders that we use. We don't put them in storage. We just kind of leave them on because all depends on what kind of weather we had during the year. Depends on the pollen and the nectar. So it was not a good rain season. So we're really low on pollen and nectar. So we might have to feed. So that's one of the reasons I just leave them on. That way we could just fill them up. I don't have to get them out of storage or anything. We just did a honey harvest, and so we just stirred these guys pretty much for the last hour. So I just wanted to show people that when you have good hives, that you can still be around them and they won't bother you. We're not messing with them now, and it's only been a few minutes since we last messed with the last hive. But anyway, there's a lot of misnomers with bees. But here we are. Of course, I'm hoping I don't get stung right now. But we do have some pretty good hives. So that's why I'm just showing you everybody that I don't have my jacket on. And because I feel comfortable enough. These guys have calmed down since we got into them, pulled the honey out. And they're really good. So you can still mess with bees and not get stung. You just got to be cautious of their attitude and what's going on. We do use smoke. we did this a couple months ago, and we had a pretty nasty hive we suspect it was Africanized. And there's no way in hell that even with our jackets on, we could even handle the hive. We tried several times smoking them. We tried checking them. There was just no way. They just went berserk on us. Anyway, we took care of it. And but anyway, this is our hives, and they're calmed down now. So I just kind of wanted to show all my friends kind of what we do and how we do it. And then part 2 would be about bottling, or I can't help it. Yeah, I can't help it. Sorry.